Love finance is the other F word and want to support the show? Become a patron by going to patreon.com/FTOFW. You'll get special features, a shout out on the air, and early releases. Or if you prefer, pick up some merchandise at financeistheotherfword.com.
As fantastic a CFP as Mel O is, as wonderful an attorney as I am, and as good as Stormy is at whatever it is he does, please do note that anything said in our podcasts are our opinions alone and are not meant to be taken as financial or legal advice.
Welcome to Finances, the Other F Word, a Gen Xer podcast for musicians and music lovers, where we discuss money and music without all the pretentious bullshit. Here are your hosts, Zoe Terry, attorney at large, Stormy Andrews, founder of Yokel Local Marketing, and Mel O, certified financial planner and author of Finances, the Other F Word. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome to Finances, the Other F Word. And today on the podcast, we're going to talk about Apple and how they created a billion-dollar company and ruined our concert lives forever. But of course, before we kick it over to Zoe, we are again without Stormy. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to deal with us two hags in here. Hags, that's a British thing, right?
I don't know. It's a you thing. I'm not a hag.
I'm not a hag either. I was actually just trying to be in solidarity with you.
Okay, I'm not looking my prettiest today, but I'm still winning.
That is kind of an understatement. She looks like she rolled out from under a rock and decided to just put her hair in a ponytail. But anyway, we'll kick it over to beautiful Zoe while she tells us about some articles.
And also, I would like to shout out to a new country that is within our Finances, the Other F Word
Family.
Tribe.
We want to hug and kiss each and individual one of you.
Yes, welcome Indonesia.
Woo! Yeah, well, maybe you don't want to get a kiss from Zoe today, but maybe when she's looking a little more spry.
I have a mint in my mouth, so I'm still minty fresh. Let me just check my teeth. Yep. Okay, so.
Thank you for checking your teeth after the fact. That's fantastic.
So some of the articles we have posted in the past week. We are fast approaching the second anniversary of 1 October, sadly. So there's been quite a few articles I will mention now. A 7-member committee has been formed to create a memorial to remember the 58 victims. Also, UMC is hosting a memorial blood drive and a Stop the Bleed class, which is apparently a class where you learn the skills to stop bleeding in life-threatening emergencies.
And this is for Route 91, right?
Yeah, this is to commemorate that, and there are all different events going on. So there's, like I said, I've posted a few articles about that in the past week. There's also going to be a Vegas Strong 5K run, which clearly neither of us will be participating in. But some of you people out there might be.
Yeah, and you can listen to the podcast while you run.
Yep, that's on the 29th of September at 8 a.m. Oh, that's this Saturday, right? Or this Sunday, 27th? This Sunday. 8 a.m. I will be snoring soundly and dreaming of you and cheering you on in my sleep. So yeah, that's some of the articles that we've been posting in the past week. Also, you know, we posted at some point in the past couple of months an article about scam artists.
Yes.
We did a podcast about scam artists.
Yep, it was the con artist episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I posted an article, I think it was just either today or yesterday, about the crypto queen. She is her name was Dr. Ruja Ignatova, known by her fans as Dr. Ruja, and it was this major cryptocurrency scam relating to OneCoin, which was some kind of Bitcoin ripoff. She managed to take investors in 175 different countries for $4.9 billion, which is about £4 billion.
But the best part is that you can't be swindled out of your money there, and it's just unregulated by the government. But
yep. So she apparently just most of her scamming occurred in just a 6-month window when she went on a global tour and managed, like I said, to scam all these people in all these countries out of all this money, and then promptly disappeared in 2017, and no one has seen Dr. Ruja since. And she's been charged in absentia in the US with money laundering, and there's a BBC podcast all about her called The Missing Crypto Queen. So if you want to check that out, sounds kind of interesting. Other news, J-Lo and Shakira are going to be the halftime performers at the Super Bowl next year.
I saw that. That's going to be very Latin heavy, and both of them are gorgeous.
Yeah, and we've talked about them and their music and their influence multiple times on our podcasts.
Yep.
Now, so sad that Stormy isn't here to talk about one of his musical favorites again, the Hoff, David Hasselhoff.
He's a king among.
He is, and apparently he's going to become a post-punk icon. Apparently, we talked before about his new album that's coming out soon, Open Your Eyes. I can't believe he's getting all this airtime from us. But anyway, one of his many covers that he's doing on this new album is a cover of the Jesus and Mary Chain 1989 single Head On. And so, yeah, he's being touted as this new post-punk icon. He also does a cover of Echo and the Bunnymen's Lips Like Sugar.
Great song.
White Snake's Here I Go Again.
Oh, dear God.
I really kind of want to hear.
Dude, White Snake has so much better songs than Here I Go Again, but...
Well, the Hoff will be covering that.
Jesus,
and
help
so
us all.
I can barely wait for it to come out. And then we'll have to...
We'll revisit on the podcast. We'll both listen to it and
maybe get a signed copy for the Storm from the Hoff.
Oh God, too much. There's too many things going on in that one sentence. Any other news on the Hoff, or are we all good now?
I think that's enough, really.
Okay.
Like I said, he's got more airtime than he deserves from us as it is.
We'll be waiting for your check.
But Stormy just
Hoffman
for some reason, although I have just had a drive in Stormy's new vehicle, and I did say it was like
when he floored it,
like
it
the
was
Knight Rider.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. So when Stormy returns to the podcast, we'll have him talk about it, and it is a very, very, very fast car. You got a fast car, faster than Tracy Chapman's Fast Car.
Oh, I love that song.
It's a great song.
Yeah,
it's a great song. Did you ever know, you were still in Britain, so you wouldn't know, Living Colour, they did a parody of that called I Ride a Fast Song, and it was unfair, but it was funny as fuck, but it was unfair. Yep. So the idea for this podcast, I got the chance to see Santana last week, and he was amazing. Now, let me tell you something. I am not a fan of jam bands, Grateful Dead, Fish, just bands that just go on a long string of jamming, and not to his anything, I guess. Carlos Santana does a lot of jamming and plays a lot of guitar. And we went and saw Carlos Santana, and I have to tell you, it was unbelievable. He is an amazing guitarist. I never doubted his skill level at all. And he was absolutely fucking fantastic. Sometimes they did jam for like 15 to 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, I could go to the next song. And his drummer, he actually had 3 sets of drums, and one of them was like I want to say bongo player, but it wasn't bongos. It was the big, tall, like African drums. Then Cindy Blackman, who was on just a normal drum set. And then there was another guy that was on a different type of drum set that I just don't know. And I come to find out that Cindy Blackman is actually his wife. But the thing that gave me the most respect about Carlos,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when we're having drinks, I'm like, Carlos.
You and the big C.
Yeah, me and the big C. Stands for Carlos, not the other word.
Oh, no, because we're totally anti that.
Yeah, you guys don't know, but Zoe off the podcast says that word constantly, by the way. I guess it's just a British thing.
I can't help myself. What can I say?
Some people they are. And so when he introduced her, he did not introduce her as my wife. He introduced her as her name and let her just stand on her talents alone. And I thought that is fucking amazing. The whole concert was great. So as I'm sitting here, I'm watching Carlos Santana, a living legend, House of Blues, intimate setting. We're in VIP. It's fucking gorgeous. And I look down on the fucking floor, cameras, iPhone cameras. And you know what? Meech, if you listen to this podcast, I love you, but you are notorious for this. Her and I have went to so many concerts, and I'm like fucking rocking out, and she is holding her phone, and she's recording it through this 3-inch screen. Or then there's fucking morons, like when I was at Maiden, the guy in front of me was recording the video screen of Maiden because it's a better picture. So he's taking a picture on a 3-inch screen of another fucking video, and literally, you know, metal legends, Iron Maiden are fucking killing the stage, and the whole floor, all you see is these fucking phone screens. And back in the day when you used to go to concerts, if a soul song came on, they dropped the lights, everybody put up their lighter. It was fucking cool. You could see it. Now, screen after screen after screen, and it is the bane of my fucking existence. I cannot stand it. So it made me want to talk about Apple and understanding a little bit about how their rise to power came and how they have completely fucked up, for me, every concert I've ever been to, because even if it's on an Android, which I'm an iPhone person, but Androids do have better cameras, they're still recording, and it just infuriates me. So we're going to talk a little bit about Apple, and we're going to discuss IPOs. Now, when Apple, so currently right now, roughly Apple is worth $993 billion, okay? That's kind of the all-in value of the company. The company actually started April 1st of 1976, but it was actually released as an IPO December 12th of 1980. Now, I've mentioned IPOs on this podcast before, but we haven't really got into details on it. So an initial public offering is what an IPO is. That's what it stands for. And it is literally the first time that a company goes public to the market. Now, sometimes you have companies go public and they're considered penny stock, okay, which is any stock that's less than $5. A penny stock is not typically traded on a major exchange, NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, those things. They are on the OTC board, and basically they just don't go through a major exchange. So when a company goes public, what they do is they go to a firm like a big investment firm, sometimes banks, depending on if they're bonds, and they go through an underwriting process where basically the underwriter looks and they looks at the value of the company, and then they say, how many shares do you want to release? And then what they try to do is they try to value it at the correct amount so that when they actually hit the trading day and they release the IPO, that people will go in and they will buy it. Now, that company only makes money off of when those shares are released at one time on those shares. So if you release 100,000 shares in your first lot as an IPO, then once you get paid, once those 100,000 shares are bought, then that is all the money you will have made out of that. So if Zoe buys my IPO, what ends up happening is that she's going to buy it at whatever price. Now, in this case, Apple came out at $22 a share. So if she had bought Apple and it went public on December 12th, 1980 at $22 a share, if she would have bought that, then Apple would have gotten $22 for the shares. And then what would have happened is that if the shares at that point went up or down and she sold, any gain or loss is going to be hers. Now, IPOs sound really sexy and exciting, and a lot of people who, quite frankly, don't really know anything about investments always talk about IPOs, and I don't mean to sound like a dick. I know it sounds kind of dickish, but it's true, and they're always excited about the newest IPO. So just for example, when Facebook IPO came out, there was a big freaking hubbub about it. I think it was in 2012, and what ended up happening was it promptly dropped. And then it took a little while, and then it started turning around and it recovered. But the deal is that Apple did the same thing. So a lot of times what people do, if I talk to people, they're like, man, I wish I would have bought Apple at this, and I wish I would have bought Apple at that. But the thing that they don't realize is that when Apple first came on the market, it actually did start trading on a major exchange. It started trading on the NASDAQ, which is a big exchange for tech stocks. And what happened is that it hit the thing, so everybody bought it at $22, and by the end of the closing day, and I had to do so much research to double check these figures, and all of these figures are telling me it's correct. It was at 51 cents by the end of the day, which means that if you had purchased it at $22, you immediately almost lost all of your money. And everybody's like, oh, I wish I, would have bought Apple, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that Apple stayed stagnant and flat. So this is what I always tell my clients. When the problem with all the news cycles and stuff we have is that there's a lot of people that are not willing to buy and hold. And I'm not saying that you should buy and hold. I'm not saying you should not buy and hold because I don't know your situation. But what I'm telling you is that Apple came out in 1980, and it was not until 2005 when we actually started seeing the chart moving up. Now, right now, Apple is at about $217 is the current price of it. But literally from 1980 till 2006, there was virtually no movement in the stock, and the stock just was flat. And so a lot of times when people buy something that they think is very promising or something they believe in, within a year, maybe a couple months, they get irritated and then they sell out of it. And then they want to come back and they want to talk about, I wish I would have bought Apple. And so when a lot of these companies are getting started, it still takes them a little bit of time to get their sea legs under them before they can actually start doing anything. Now, Steve Jobs, of course, passed in October 5th of 2011, and they switched over CEOs. And another important thing to know about is that when I pulled up the largest shareholders of Apple, now there's mutual funds that have Apple stock, there's ETFs that own Apple stock, there's hedge funds that own Apple stock, and then there's, Joe Schmoes that own Apple stock. But there's 5 people who own the bulk of the shares of Apple, not fund companies, not ETFs, 5 people. Arthur Levinson, I know I didn't say that right. So he owns 1.1 million shares as of August 3rd of 2018, which is currently worth $238 million. Then you have Tim Cook, who is the new CEO that stepped in, at 878,425 shares, which is equivalent to $190 million. Then you have Craig, and I can't say his name right, the Senior VP of Software Engineering. I'm going to say Federai, I don't know. He has 412,571 shares, or a worth of $89 million. And then Jeffrey Williams, the COO, and Bruce Sewell, Senior VP of Legal and Global, both have 108,085 shares, and both of them are worth $23,454,000-ish. So when you own a stock, you have the ability to have voting rights. So if they decide that they're going to change something or they want to go in a new direction with the company, as a stockholder, you have the ability to vote if you want to do that or not. But it's important to realize that you should vote when you get a proxy in the mail, and you should let the company know what you think should happen. But you also have to be really cognizant of the fact that this right here represents over 2 million in shares that are held by just 5 people. So if they really want to do something, they can easily outvote most people, especially because a lot of times when people get proxies in the mail, they don't bother reading them. They don't want to vote. And so they kind of give up their right, just like voting. Actually, if voting for political elections, when you don't vote, you kind of give up your right to have a say-so in what you want the outcome to be. And so, we have the release of the iPad. Did you ever see the iPod Touch? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
So the iPod Touch literally was just like a storage unit USB. It was like a little stick, and then it had like a circle button, that
yes,
iPod,
yeah, I remember.
And then then you press it in the middle. So basically what happened is that once we started having the iPods come online, that's when we start to see a better correlation in the stock rising. So for instance, the iPod Touch was released in October 21st in 2001. Now, that being said, the Apple shares of stock were still relatively flat. But then what you start seeing the hype over the iPhone. Now, at this point, they had released the iPod Touch, and then they had released the step-up iPod, which was the one that was the predecessor to our iPhones, for those of you who have iPhones. And they released the actual first iPhone, which I still have. It's a little tiny thing, and we were just blown away by it. And they released that in June 19th of 2007. And June 1st of that same month, so the iPhone, the first version, was released in June 29th of 2007. June 1st, just to show you what I'm talking about, the stock price for Apple was only $16.91. So you had the IPO come out at $22. You bought it in 1980. You would have had to have the fortitude to hold all the way until about 2006 before your shares started to do anything. And if you bought it at the IPO price, even in June 1st of 2007, that $22 you purchased it for is only worth $16.91. Now, for all the people who bought the IPO and held Apple was like, fuck it, this is never going to go anywhere, and they sold their share of stocks, then at that point, I could come in, Zoe's like, forget it, I'm out of this, I'm selling it. She takes the loss. I come in and I swoop up the stock at $1. And then I have the fortitude to hold. And then we see how the calendar, or we see the actual chart, how it does an about face, and it just immediately shoots up. Then we've had a couple 2-for-1 stock splits in there, and we'll cover that on another podcast episode. But it's very important for you guys to understand, a couple things, is that when they mention IPOs, it doesn't mean that an IPO is going to be a winner right out the gate. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't, and it's just kind of you just don't know. You don't know how it's going to be accepted. But in order for a company to actually go public, they need to do a couple things, which we've talked about before. They need to have audited financial statements because they are a public company. So they basically need to lay all their stuff bare. They need to show everybody, what their books look like before people will have enough comfort to buy. They need to have some type of consistent revenue because taking a company public is very expensive, and you have to lay that cost out in front. And then the underwriting, when you pay the underwriters, that usually costs about $1 million for the underwriters who do the actual legwork and get the stock registered, and if they can find an exchange for it, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to have the audited financial statements. You have to have at least enough capital to be able to go public. And you need to have a good debt to equity ratio, which just basically is a way that investors or advisors can tell how leveraged a company is. So you don't want to invest in a company that's spending too much on credit. Just like if you're running a household and you're living off credit, that's not a sustainable business model. So those are some things you want to look at. And then basically they need to have ideally about 3 to 5 years planned out so that they can kind of project what they think that they're going to make. And this is very important because, again, if you're going to be investing in something and you're going to be giving them your money right out the gate from an IPO from a company that's not tested, then you really want to make sure that you know kind of what you're looking at. So that is a little bit of the rise of Apple. And I know that there's been a couple artists like Jack White who has put in measures where you cannot bring cell phones into his concert. And everybody thinks it's because he's being a dick or because he, doesn't want people to record it. No, it's not that at all. He wants people to enjoy the music. There's a couple other bands that, of course, escape me now because I'm in the middle of talking about this, that have made it so you cannot bring iPhones into the actual concert. And as a avid concert goer, I wish more bands did that because I am 5'3", y'all. So if I am on the floor and there's some asshole in front of me, 9 times out of 10 he's taller than me, even if it's a chick, but when you lift your fucking hand up, you are literally blocking my fucking line of sight to look at the stage. So I'm 5'3". I'm trying to enjoy my experience. I paid the same amount of money you did, and your bitch ass has your stupid fucking camera up there so you can watch the concert through your 3-inch fucking screen, and I paid the same amount of money and I can't see shit. And it fucking pisses me off. And one day I'm going to be in the headlines for fucking punching everybody in front of me in the neck. It's going to happen. So obviously you can tell I am really serious about this topic. I just wish people could just fucking enjoy the concert. That's all. Not record the fucking concert. And by the way, you're not a good videographer like you think. And it sounds like shit, by the way, you guys. Nobody wants to listen to that. Nobody wants to listen to it on YouTube. Nobody fucking wants to hear it when you scroll through on Facebook. Just be at the concert, y'all. Just zen at the concert.
Yeah, I can understand maybe taking a couple of photographs, although they never come out either. But
right.
Recording it, yeah, exactly. Just friggin' enjoy it.
Yeah, if there's anything I could do before I die, I would start a movement to not allow them into fucking concerts. It drives me. And you know what? We saw Bill Burr. Amazing. Bill Burr is hilarious. And he had a strict no recording thing. And it said everywhere, the security told you, there's signs everywhere. If you were caught recording, then they will kick your ass out. And, you know, I understand that comedians just talk versus like a stage show. You know, you still might see a musician, but still, it's the same thing. And so it bothers me. But Carlos Santana, if you get the chance to see him, I hope you do. Thank God, since we're in VIP, we were raised, and I was able to see him, and I just watched him the whole time, and he was unbelievable. And I got a shirt, but I didn't wear it today. I'll wear it next time. Over to you, Zoe.
Okay, well, thank you. And it's funny, I think the last concert that we went to together was probably the George Michael cover. There was nobody recording that shit.
There was not.
I wonder why that was.
There was not.
I don't know.
But the backup singer who sang with them, very good. She was very good. I don't know if she was from Vegas, from Texas. She was using an iPad for lyrics, but she also looked like she was about 19 years old, so she probably didn't know any of the songs, and so God bless her, she had to use the lyrics. But that's true. Nobody was recording, and the worst part is that I was sober that night. And Zoe was trying to drink enough for both of us, and I look back at it going, maybe I should have been blitzed out of my mind.
No, it didn't help. It really didn't help.
Awful. And if he ever listens to this podcast and you want to weigh in and defend yourself, I'm all ears, bro. But it wasn't great.
No, it wasn't. And we would have forgiven you until you dared put your photograph up there. But we won't go into that again.
No, don't compare yourself to a Greek god.
Gosh, no. So anyway, for music today, we thought we would come up with songs that have fruity little numbers.
Ew.
Fruity little numbers. So songs with fruits in the titles. I'm sure you're all shouting at me right now with ones you can think of. Mel, can you think of any off the top of your head?
The Lemon Song by Led Zeppelin.
Now seeing as you mentioned the Led Zeppelin, that wasn't on my...
It wasn't?
It wasn't on my list,
Yay!
but Tangerine by Led Zeppelin was.
Okay, so, but we got good representation for Britain, yes, yet again.
Oh, yeah, we're everywhere. And continuing with the British music, anyway, Strawberry Fields Forever. Beatles.
I wouldn't have thought of that, but yes.
I think that is the only one that I did think of all by myself, just to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I can't think of anything past the Lemon Song, but maybe I'll know some of the other ones on your list.
You will.
Okay, I'm ready.
One of our favorites, Raspberry Beret.
Oh yeah. Oh, Prince.
Oh, beautiful Prince.
And we heard him before we got here. If I gave you diamonds and pearls. Yeah, it sounded just that bad too when we heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're okay with it.
Now, this is probably more up your alley. Cherry Pie, Warrant.
Oh, my God. I forgot that one, too. So, yeah, there was probably a lot of people screaming, Cherry Pie. And I'm, cheese. Yeah. With
Cherry
Bobby
pie.
Brown in there, who was smoking hot in that video. Gorgeous.
And that's a shout out to Sherry, who I always call Cherry Pie. So how about the Banana Boat song by the Kinks?
Oh, God.
Got a banana in it.
It
so
does.
It counts.
Does it have a banana? Is that what you said?
Banana.
Banana.
How about Peaches, Presidents of the USA, the United States of America?
Millions of peaches. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that song, too. Wow.
There's so many fruity songs out
People
there.
I guess we really love our vitamin C over here.
How about Orange Crush, REM?
Oh.
I know you're not a big fan.
I'm not. Yeah, I know the song, but I'm not, because that was on the original, like for y'all back in the day who used to do Rock Band. They had Orange Crush on there, and it was, I had these friends, and they don't listen to this podcast, so I'm going to talk shit, this old friend, these old set of friends, and they would play Rock Band when it came out. Like, they'd all have a big party, everybody would get fucking wasted, and then they would do it, but they looked like they were actually a band, and they were wearing shades, and it was...
I don't get it. They were having a party but pretending to be a band.
Yeah, like when they were singing the Rock Band. Like there's a drummer, there's a guitar player, and there's a singer, and so they're literally like wearing sunglasses, like they're on a fucking stage performing. It was, oh God. If they ever listen to this podcast, I'll just be like, yeah, well, you guys look stupid. Hopefully they don't listen to this episode, but they're so supportive.
Listen to all the others though.
Right. We don't talk shit about you.
No. Okay, Blueberry Hill, Fats Domino.
Oh my goodness. Makes me think of blueberry pancakes.
Cherry Cherry, Neil Diamond.
That one I do not know.
I don't either.
I don't know. We'll put it on the playlist.
We are under 70, so I think we're allowed. not to
Okay,
know that
good.
one.
Yeah, actually, one of my very good friends in high school loved Neil Diamond when we were in high school.
Huh. And I have seen him in concert.
I'm sure he was great.
Yeah, he was good. And
Yeah.
the ladies in their glittery tops loved him. But he was good. And
Yeah. Did you throw your underwear at him?
no, because I wasn't wearing any.
Did you throw your bra at him then?
So not true. I always wear underwear. So no.
Granny underwear.
Big, fat,
Big granny underwear.
bottom-hugging underwear.
Yeah.
No G-strings for this big-bottomed mama. Anyway, so how about... I don't know this song, but this came up. Kiwi by Maroon 5. I'm sure you don't know it because you're not a Maroon 5.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Maroon 5
fan either.
His
but
voice
anyway.
is whiny to me. But I do like moves like Jagger.
Oh, who doesn't
I
love
do.
that
I do.
song?
I
love that song.
I hate that I love it, but I'm like,
You can't help
moves
it,
like
can you?
Jagger. I know. You just start.
Yeah.
You start doing the Zoe where you're not moving anything, but you're
just kind of clenching your teeth.
clenching your teeth and shaking your fists like you're mad, but you're actually smiling.
Like you're having a seizure.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
I don't know. I like their earlier stuff, but anyway. How about I Heard It Through the Grapevine? That kind of counts.
No,
right?
it does. It totally
it's got
counts.
It's got a grape in it.
Yeah.
That's a fruit.
And what was the California Raisins? You used
That-
to sing that.
Yeah, we had that advert in England too.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, for California Raisins?
Yeah, or I must have seen it over here because I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Either way, we'll just assume that you
Yeah.
saw it on
I
England.
remembered it. I don't know this song, but you probably do because it's Aerosmith, Adam's Apple.
I don't. I wonder what CD that is off of.
I clearly have no idea.
I don't know.
Because I can't help you. Now, I can't believe that I am mentioning these people for probably at least the second or third time on this podcast. But
Which one?
The Wiggles. Fruit salad. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. But anyway.
Yeah. But you guys
But I
can't get the visual. So I'm literally gonna have her do a video of her singing fruit salad and doing her dance, and you'll see. And she's just so tense and she's shaking and she's like fruit salad, you know.
Yummy.
I don't know how her teeth are not nubs, honestly.
I know. I don't know how they're not like little wooden stumps.
Like
now.
freaking Pennywise the clown.
But I have also seen the Wiggles in concert.
I know, which you already told us, and it's embarrassing for both of us.
It's really not. Okay, I've still got a couple more.
I am dying to know.
It's no more Wiggles, though.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you, God.
Lemon by U2.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the lemon. That's when they got really fucking weird before they came out with Passenger.
Was that when he had his silly
Yeah, it was all
fly sunglasses
this all
on?
crazy shit.
He took himself a bit too seriously.
Yeah, but you know what? U2 still has all their original members, so you know what? I guess they can do whatever the fuck they want to. Plus, they're clearly super rich. And you know, we didn't talk about them on our Brexit episode, and they are Ireland. Totally part of the EU. I don't know how we didn't make
Irish.
that.
They're not Ireland.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be,
don't they
would
just
be weird.
reverend?
They're just Ireland. No, they're not. But
They're Ireland,
they're
Irish.
But yes.
Yeah.
No, we didn't talk about them. You're right. But anyway.
We should have. Our bad.
Unlike the Hoff, they don't really need our.
They really don't.
They don't need our
YouTube is like
support.
YouTube. YouTube is like we
We're
got
good.
this.
We're
yeah,
good.
we got. Look, y'all.
The Hoff is jumping up and down, going, "Who are these ladies?"
Oh my God, they must want me.
And Stormy, my God, he's my number one fan.
Yes.
Okay, how about I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Billy Cotton and his band.
I've never heard that song.
Oh, I bet you have. You need to look that up because you do.
Well, I unfortunately have to. By the way, all of your shit is like impossible to fucking find on Spotify. I have to go to Google. I can't search it under the artist name. I can't find it under the song name. Then I have to go to Google, find it, find the album, then go try to find the album and find the song. It's fucking ridiculous.
Excellent.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not like you got anything better to do.
All right, exactly.
And then my last one is Coconut by Harry Nilsson. That was in the I put the lime in the coconut. That one. It was
You
in
already sang that before, I think,
No,
on
I
one of
didn't. That's a different one. I just because all my songs sound the same. That
That
was,
is pretty
was
true,
Harry
though.
Nilsson, and they were in the Coke with the lime commercial. That's what made that. Well, obviously it was famous before. Clearly, because you're looking at me like
I have never heard that nor
Yes, you
seen that.
have.
No,
You'll have no trouble finding that one.
Yeah, I can hardly wait. I'm completely breathless. So for those of you guys who are listening to the end, thank you so much, first of all. Second of all, hey, you should look us up on social media. And, Zoe has something.
One more thing. I do have to wish my beautiful little sister happy birthday today. Little sis fish, Sarah. Happy birthday.
And I have no siblings, so I can just continue to be jealous. And, I will wish, what's her name?
Sarah.
Sarah. Did you call her Little Fish, Sarah?
Little sis fish. I'm big sis fish, and she's little sis fish.
Okay, I'm not going to say all that. Hey, happy birthday, Sarah, from myself and your crazy ass older sister, clearly. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Finance is the Other F Word.
The gram.
That she's now coined, and the book, apparently. And book. Speaking of books, hey, Finance is the Other F Word is on Amazon, available for purchase with 10% of net proceeds going to Forgotten Not Gone and Pause. And I know that you've talked about Pause before. Give us just a 30-second rundown of Pause again. She is wearing a Pause shirt. Thank God the visual is not working again because she looks like a shit show right now.
I have been into Pause today briefly, which is partly...
And apparently cats do not like makeup or having your hair done.
It detracts. I don't want to detract from the beauty of the cats and the kittens by myself looking in any way gorgeous.
Yes, so, easily distractible.
So, yes, Pause is providing animals with support. We are an all-volunteer run cat rescue. Our main center is in St. George, Utah, but we are located in the PetSmart on Charleston and Wallapai. And
Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas. And right now we have a full special where all our cats are $25. The adoption fee is $25 for cats, $50 for kittens. So come in and check our little kitty cats out.
So for cat lovers, go see Zoe and adopt a cat. And then for normal people who are not obsessed with cats, even though I do love cats myself, follow us on social media, and we will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Cheerio.
Thank you for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review us and tell your friends.